Hello and welcome to a Christmas special of FPL Expectations with me, FPL Mariner, and at Zoo FPL. Joe, how are you doing, mate?
Good. Christmas mood, it seems.
Yeah, I think. I'm stuck a bit too far away from home, but you needs must. You have to have a glass of wine and see how it goes. But we're expecting Surrey, but he's not here at the moment, so we'll let him in when we can. But let's crack on. I think you had a good week. The reason is, I think we've got about the same team. This is really cool.
I mean, like, even the only player that we had different scored the same points. So
yeah, I think the differences were Taylor and Adams for you, and Dallas and Souček for me. Apart from that, same captain.
Same player. So basically, whatever I'm reviewing is probably the same as your team as well. So, just let us keep it short. Bruno captain was fantastic. I mean, like when Salah hopped on the bench, we were like, oh shit, did we captain the wrong player, So, but thank goodness Bruno Fernandes came through for all of us.
Yeah.
I mean, except those who didn't captain him.
No, I have to say, I was out for dinner Friday night, and I was watching the goals going in. I was thinking, oh my god. But then Robertson got something. So then I think that actually set the week up, because that was a big differential in the bigger scheme of things, actually.
I mean, I'm so glad I kept Robertson. I would say previous game weeks he was kind of unlucky in FPL sense, because if you look at a game that which he had like probably 2 points, or even there's one game 1 point, he was really bombing the left hand side and trying to create chances with crosses and taking free kicks and corners, and glad that he came through. Pretty sure that's probably what you felt, how you feel about him as well, because both of us kept him, and right now seeing everybody else trying to break their bank to bring him in feels good,
Well, yeah. I mean, it's an interesting one. We'll come back to Liverpool later on, because I think that's going to be one of the teams that we'll definitely be talking about. Grealish, what do you think to Grealish this week? 10 points. Are you comfortable with Grealish, or are you starting to get itchy feet?
I don't know. One of my plans towards the double game week is to offload Grealish. But he does have his moments. But does that moment always convert to FPL points? Not all the time. I mean, if you compare to a player like Fernandes or Bruno, in terms of FPL, it's quite different. But maybe he might be worth keeping. But I don't, since my value on him is not tight as much as some others, so he's one of my my ways of trying to get more funds.
Yeah.
You might disagree, Mariner, but
I'm asking you because I got him as well.
Yeah, because the only thing that I'm worried or I'm fearful of is his ownership. It's pretty high. Yeah. If he continues to, his heat map is crazy as well. He's basically shadowing the striker, and if he gains the penalty, is a designated penalty taker with Al Ghazi not in the field, so probably he will definitely haul soon. Probably another one, but
I tend to agree with you. I mean, my perspective is, I know we're going to go on to the chip strategy in a minute, and I don't want to waste too much time on this first section. But one of the perspectives I've got is I do have a lot more value invested in Grealish. And in fact, a number of players who I may want to, who are single game weekers, who I may want to consider getting rid of. Grealish specifically, what I'm thinking is Barkley's due back soon. That's why I'm just nervous about selling him. So we'll see. Anyway, but no, I mean, look, 95 points, man. And if it had been for Chilwell's leg falling off, I think we'd have got 100, wouldn't we?
Yeah, I mean, like if it wasn't Silva's penalty at probably the last minute, Taylor would probably get that extra 4 points and bonus. I think he's on bonus as well before he conceded that goal. So I could be well within 100 points.
No, I'm interested in Taylor because I see you brought him in. I can know why you brought him in. It's for the fixtures. But personally, with a double game week in mind, I actually thought against that. So, you can see how the strategies are going to play out in the coming weeks. So, I think you're going to make a point later on, which I think is super important. And that is that don't just get totally wrapped up in the blank and the double game week. Play your game right the way up to that point. But no, I mean, honestly, mate, you have a fantastic week, up to 77k.
Yeah.
So, I said myself, I'm not going to put my stuff up because it's a waste of time because it's the same team virtually. But I'm up now to I think 19.8. So we're going in the right direction. So I think expectations can have a happy Christmas. I think most of us. I think we're all doing pretty well now.
Hopefully, a good Boxing Day ahead as well.
Let's hope so. All right then. So look, let's dive into the main event for the evening, which is the chip strategy. Now, obviously, I think you've spent a bit of time and you've put some slides together for us on it. So I'm just going to let you run through it. But what I will do is, I think when I see a break, I might just dive in and ask you a quick question regarding it. And of course, what I would say to the viewers is that if they've got any questions specifically around the chip strategy, which I think we would like to take that type of question tonight. So I think this is a great opportunity because I think what you'll find is pretty interesting. So over to you, mate, and I'll let you crack on.
Okay. So this is the spreadsheet courtesy of Ben. I mean, if you're watching the show, most probably you are familiar with this FPL community household name. So his chart basically, his spreadsheet basically, shows very clearly which teams are having the blank in a game week 18 and which teams are having the double game week on the 19th. And mind you, this is before the announcement on the double game week 26 and blank game week 29, which we have no idea as of now which teams are going to be involved in those 2 weeks. So looking around in Twitter, there are actually quite a few popular strategies. Firstly, I would think the most popular one is free hit game week 18 and a bench boost on 19. Second one is also free hit on 18, but triple captain on the game week 19 because you have really good standouts for triple captain on the game week 19, particularly on Liverpool and probably Man United because firstly Liverpool is playing at home and Salah loves playing at home, and Man United are playing away. And Bruno, as we know, has blanked only once so far away, unfortunately. So I think like 2 weeks ago. So, these are great candidates for the triple captainship, especially if you don't plan to, move around too many players in your team to have like more than 10 or maybe like more than 9 double game week players. The third one is, trying to save your free hit chip just to bulldoze your way through game week 18, bring in standout captain on that game week. So basically, if you see game week 18, probably the standout captains will be someone from Man City as they're playing against Brighton at home. or Spurs playing against Villa away. So these are probably two of the fixtures I would see stand out captaincies on game week 18. And then after that, it really depends on what is the structure of the current team right now. How many players do you have playing on the 18, and how many players do you have playing on the game week 19 right now? So if you have more players on a game week 18, probably it will be a good strategy to bring probably. I mean, you don't need to bring all 11 on game week 18, 11 playing players, because pretty sure most of the player, even outside of Twitter, won't be having full 11 players for game week 18. So even if you have 8 or 9 players, I reckon you'll be in a good situation. And playing the free hit on the 19 gives you the freedom to bring in even the full 11 double gaming players on game week 19. The next one, triple captain on game week 19, bulldoze your way on game week 18. The last two is basically catered more to and playing the free hit on the 19 gives you the freedom to bring in even the full 11 double gaming players on game week 19. The next one, triple captain on game week 19, bulldoze your way from the last two is basically catered more to and playing the free hit on the 19. Yeah, the last two basically caters to those who still have the wild card. And either you can wild card in game week 16 because Spurs fixtures are turning in game week 16. As you can see, they're going to play Fulham and then at home and then Leeds. So game week 16 is quite a popular game week to play your wild card if you still have your first one. Unfortunately, I think all of us at FPL Expectations have used up our wild card. Another one is game week 17. You can play your wild card then as well because you'll be closer to planning your game week 19 players there. So these are some of the popular strategies that you can consider. If you're not seeing this, probably you can check out my Twitter page where I've actually done a flowchart, guiding you step by step what strategies is suitable for your current team. So firstly, you ask yourself, do you have all your chips? If you have, then it would be good to play your wildcard soonest, because game week 16 is your final week to play your first wildcard, which is why as you can see the previous page, I say game week 17 wildcard. That is actually starting to use up your second wildcard, which is actually, if it's possible, try not to do it, because as mentioned, game week 26 has been announced as a double game week, and game week 29 is a blank game week. So I personally wouldn't recommend using the second wildcard chip so early. First week that you have the wildcard chip, I personally wouldn't recommend that. So if you still have your first wildcard chip, definitely play it. Either you can play it on a game week 15 even, or 16. Because why 15? Because you can, if you see game week 15, Liverpool is playing West Brom at home. So it is also a good opportunity to bring in more Liverpool players if you wildcard this coming week. Okay, and then if you have all the chips except the wildcard, like most of us, or all of us in FPL Expectations, if you have it, then like I say, you consider yourself whether you have more game week 18 players or game week 19 players. If you have more game week 19 players at the moment, like let's say you have 7 double game week players compared to 5 players playing on the game week 18, you can consider going for the free hit and the bench boost. For those who have unfortunately used up their free hit, probably like I say, you are the rest of the players in FPL. are probably in the same situation on game week 18. Probably they are probably struggling to even fill 8 to 9 players. So if you can get 8 to 9 players, and then you put on a captain which has the potential to explode, probably you are still able to bulldoze your way on game week 18, and then you can play bench boost or triple captain on game week 19. So I mean, you can check out this flow chart at this video. You can screenshot this current picture, and then you can just use it to plan your chips on game week 18 and 19.
I think that's a great point. I think people might want to pause on that and just take it in, because for me it's simplicity at its best. It just leads you down a path of what you want to do. And we've got Surya here as well, who's also played his wildcard.
Yes,
so
yes, exactly.
we probably know where roughly we're going. But interesting enough, I think it was you, Surya, you mentioned that there's 4 million wildcards not being played.
Yes. There's around 4 million managers who have their wildcards left, but of course we don't know how many of them are dead teams. A lot of dead teams might have been created, but still it's a crazy number. 4 million is still a lot of number, and so we do have to consider that as well in mind.
I don't know whether that fills me with joy or dread. I think the only thing I would say is that, again, if somebody does wildcard, and I have seen a couple of wildcards this week, they're not actually a million miles away from where I am anyway. So I'm not too worried in many senses. I mean, one question which is going to come up a lot, I think, and now we're talking down the route of people who may well wildcard, or like ourselves perhaps, who don't have that opportunity to wildcard. And we've said how many players that we would like for a double game week, and I'm looking at trying to get 11, including a playing goalkeeper. That would be my idea. And then 1 or 2 big hitters. How many hits, guys, would you be prepared to take in order to achieve what you would consider an optimal bench? Julia, you first, mate. What do you think?
Greg. To me, it's pretty simple. If you have the wildcard left, still now it's pretty much better to use it on 16 and then go with the flowchart that Zoo has put across. There is pretty much nothing else you can try out. I was actually writing a blog as well on this. So if you have your wildcard left, the wildcard and bench boost should be the best possible strategy in my option.
Yeah. But like ourselves, for example, I'll give you the spanner in my works. Well, I've got 2 actually. I've got Mr. Glass, which is Tariq Lamptey. That's his name, Mr. Greenhouse, because he's spent most of his time broken. Much to my bloody disgust this weekend, although I did get Dallas off the bench, thank goodness, which made it slightly better. But of course, the other problem now is Ben Chilwell. And Ben Chilwell, if he does not come back, I will have to take a hit if I want to get an optimal bench boost side out. That's my position. So I'm very interested to know, and I bet there's other people like that as well. There's a lot of people on Ben Chilwell, for example. I'd be very interested to know how many hits you'd be prepared to take. Would you say 1 max, or would you, like Joe? I think you're prepared to go without your goalkeeper in a bench boost.
Yeah, I mean, if you ask me, I've people asking me as well. They want to take like minus 12, 3 hits to have a bench boost. Personally, firstly, it really depends on who you want to bring in. This person has a chance to haul. If you're saying, I want to take a hit to replace Lamptey, I mean, he still has. Probably Mariner will be the first one to kick him out. But I mean,
yeah, he's definitely going. He's going one way or the other this week. I tell you, he's gone.
Yeah.
But no, sorry for just jumping in. No, really interested. How many? Just to cut to the chase. One hit, Joe.
Two, maximum two.
You're prepared to take up to a -8 for a bench boost, which might net you, if you're lucky, 15 points, 20, 15, 3 returns, 2 returns.
I would maximum 2.
Right.
Personally.
Okay. Surya, how many?
Yeah, I think I can feel 12 double game week players without taking a hit. So I think I'll take 1 so that I have 13. Yeah. So because I'm not removing Diesel. I'm not removing Diesel anyway because I have value in him, so I can't replace him. So that's one spot.
No.
One spot that goes right away. So yeah, I think one hit, minor. Not more than it.
I would tend to agree with you. So there's 2 people on 1 hit and 1 on 2 hits. So I think no more than 1, because I'm just thinking, what's the point? I may as well just play my triple captain and hold it till later on, because as Joe said, there's some great options for triple captain further down the line as well. So no, that's really interesting. All right, so Joe, crack on. Keep going. So what's next?
Yeah, so like I mentioned, if you're targeting game week 18, these are some of the teams you can target. Man City, Tottenham Hotspur, Everton, Newcastle, because Newcastle is playing Sheffield United. So Sheffield United, as we know, this season has been appalling. I think I've just checked their expected goals conceded. They are about like 25 goals over 14 game weeks. That's pretty bad. Yeah, so and then I think unfortunately they are quite poor in their set piece defending as well. And we know Newcastle, especially last season, they've been depending a lot on set pieces. So probably fancy Newcastle popping in 1 or 2 goals here. And then you can sprinkle it with a bit of Wolves, Brighton, and Crystal Palace, because they offer pretty good budget players. And for me, Arsenal and Sheffield United, no way. I mean, first they are quite overpriced, and you don't know, especially Arsenal. My dad is an Arsenal fan, and I just told him just now. I've seen him supporting Arsenal throughout the years, but I think this is probably the toughest he's been. So
toughest.
Yeah, so pretty bad. So these are the players and the teams you can target for game week 18.
I mean, Joe, I put something similar out this morning. I'll give you my top 5. I'm updating this every week, and this is based on matchups. So shots in box against shots conceded, XG against XGC, big chances against big chances conceded. And the attacking matchups at the moment, Man City top, Newcastle second. So Sheffield United are really poor, clearly. Yeah. Newcastle are no great, right? Yeah. But if Newcastle are up there with respect to matchups, that suggests Sheffield United are really poor. Arsenal, believe it or not, but they're playing Palace. Any surprise that all of a sudden Palace have just gone off a cliff because they've just conceded 7 goals? Let's watch this. That might change. Villa and then Wolves. That's attacking. Defending, Newcastle, because Sheffield United are just so bad.
Yeah, they're like so bad, both ends of the pitch.
Yeah. Again, Arsenal, which surprises me, but clearly Crystal Palace didn't do a great deal at all. And to be honest, it looks a lot of the last 3 games, so that might be why. Wolves, then Man City, and then Everton with respect to defence. And what I think here, and this is going to be a general thing, I think attacking matchups are better than defensive matchups. I think the structures we probably want to be looking at is not a 4 at the back at this moment in time. I think a 3-5-2 or a 3-4-3, I think is probably optimal for both game weeks at this moment, because the defensive matchups are just not there. It looks like there'll be more. It looks like there'll be goals conceded to me. That's my perspective.
I mean, especially if you're free hitting on a game week 18, you will want to go for maximum upside. So maximum upside, you'll be definitely looking at attacking 3-5-2, 3-4-3. You know, don't go for 4. I mean, you generally don't go for 4 defenders in a free hit. Nah. And then even if like I said, you're bulldozing your way through game week 18, you definitely want to aim to bring in those attackers and captain one of them for sure. So yeah, so that's my my take on game week 18.
Okay. 19?
So game week 19. I mean, these are just some of the suggestions I can think of. You know, you can target both attacking and defensive matchups. So attacking, Liverpool is definitely there. Man United, Leeds. I quite fancy Leeds fixtures post game week 15 up to double game week 19.
Can I own 4 Leeds players? I just love watching them.
Probably James would probably approve.
I think Meslier, one of Rafinha, Dallas, and Rodrigo. I think 4. I can definitely take it. Yeah,
I want 4. I want to make fantasy fun again. Honestly,
yes.
do their own. I mean, to be quite honest, you know me. I'm a big lover of Souček. He's boring. Bring Rafinha in.
I mean, they are really exciting to watch. You know, even though they lost like 6-2, but you know they are still trying to bring in goals. So you know that's like you know a FPL manager's dream. You know, so yeah. I mean their team XG,
and I think
their team XG is off the charts. So it's crazy. So Southampton, quite fancy them as well because Leeds, they're playing Leeds, and they're actually doing really well as a team. Really really disciplined. And James Ward-Prowse, you know, his what you call that? His set piece, you know, his right foot is just crazy. Chelsea, a bit here and there, attacking wise. Werner,
no, it's majorly no. You don't have to doubt about it. Yeah, its finishing has been awful.
I agree.
Unless Ziyech is back.
My take
that's
on that,
a valid point.
Yeah, my take on that is somebody like I think that 8 million point in midfield is a more interesting sort of position, I think. And I think, to be honest now, Werner has finally got some competition for that range, that price range around 9 million forwards. Because obviously there's Firmino now. I can't believe I'm actually saying that. Firmino and now Martial finally. We know how you know scratchy he is. If he gets going, he'll get crazy. He could go if you hit Martial right, like I did at the end of last season. He pretty much dug me out of the mess because I didn't own Bruno at all, and Martial.
If you catch Tony on his form, he'll just fly, you know, and you will fly along with him. Yeah. Definitely. So
yes.
No. Yeah, I remember last season he was like really prolific at home, but I don't know this season. You know, will it change? Will he do well away?
He's already had a 10-pointer away, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So you know, again, and just forget this home and away malarkey.
Yes,
for me,
exactly.
I have no intention of changing my fixture difficulty to a home or away model at the moment because, in fact, you know, away it's very noticeable now that you know you've just as much chance, more chance of winning away at home at the moment if you looked at the way the results are. But again, I think the teams you put up there, I think I'm pretty much in agreement with you. Again, when I released it this morning, attacking Man U, number 1, Liverpool, Chelsea, Southampton, West Ham. West Ham are coming off. Southampton coming off a little bit, Chelsea climbing, Liverpool climbing, Man United still top. Okay.
Yep.
So I think that tells you where you're doubling, and that tells you where you're probably doubling up at this moment in time. And I think people who are doing that are going to be playing a similar game. I think there, certainly on Twitter anyway. Defense-wise, West Ham standout actually.
Yep.
Burnley and West Brom.
Yes.
So if you are, they are a standout. Then you've got Chelsea, Fulham and Leicester, again, pretty good. Southampton, still there or thereabouts. So McCarthy owners and Walker Peters, happy days. Leicester coming back into the thoughts again. And Liverpool just sort of like teetering at fifth place, thinking, well, are they any good defensively or not? But quite frankly, if you are a Robertson owner, don't worry about the defence. I think, we're pretty Robertson. And I think I'm going to put my neck on the block here. I think what's Trent Alexander owned by at the moment? Less than 20% of 15 or 20% or something like that. I did look earlier and I've forgotten the number.
I'm
just surprised.
I just check it out.
Robert, Trent Alexander-Arnold, 13.9.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he's 25% owned in 4 weeks. I think he's going to start. I've just got that funny feeling, and in fact, he could be my Chilwell move because I do have the money in the bank, but I'm not sure I've really got the balls to double up on the Liverpool defence at the moment. But that's another story. All right, Joe. So anyway, and again, it does look like, again, as I mentioned earlier, it does look like attacking matchups are going to win out there. So, and I would say that Liverpool triple captain, Man United triple captain, pretty good calls. I don't think it's a train wreck if you don't bench boost. I don't think it's a complete train wreck. But as I think I've seen somewhere else, I think you have to manage your expectations because I think the bench boost will create more points than a triple captain.
Yes, and I'm not particularly convinced about triple captaining Salah or Salah. I think is a standout, and I don't. Since it's Man United, I don't think it's a very good option. With especially we have a double and a blank coming up later in the season as well. I don't see triple being a wise move. If you have the bench boost left, then it's of course bench boost, which is a better chip, at least for this particular game week. Because of course you could double up on West Ham defense. They have a very good. I think 2 West Ham defenders shouldn't be a very bad move. I think I saw a draft today with 2 West Ham defenders as well for the double game week. So so I don't think triple captaining Salah could also be a good option, at least in my opinion. I don't know. Yeah.
I think it's just going to be the issue is how many more injuries we're going to get between now and then. I mean, COVID's rampant in the UK now. I mean, goodness knows, might even not get to game week 18 and 19 at this rate. I hope we do, but there's always a chance that we won't. But I think there is a lot more of a chance now of more players going down with COVID. So, it could really be a very, very difficult time with respect to trying to plan for this bench boost as well. And also, and interestingly enough, I saw it in the press today, that don't just assume that if the players get COVID, that they're back within 2 weeks. Because St. Maximin and Lascelles have got long COVID. They don't know when they're back. And it's down in the premierinjuries.com, the Ben Dinnery's website. It's down as fatigue. So I think this is basically the fact that people are some players are just not recovering. So maybe you've got to think. I've not suffered with COVID, I wouldn't know, but I think that it may take players a while to get back to normal, even super fit ones. So we just have to bear that in mind. I think that's why I'm still sort of like skirting around that triple captain question, because I just think that FPL has a habit of throwing spanners in the works, doesn't it?
Yes, exactly.
We can have a great plan
Tonight could be also another problem. Maybe if United lose to Everton, then that could be a potential double in 17 or 18. Like Ben was tweeting it out yesterday night. So that could be even more. We might need another episode to discuss chips. So that's how FPL has been this week. Yeah.
Yeah. At the time of recording, there was not a double win. Joe, over to you, mate. Just if you want to just finish off on this.
Yep. So another point I want to make is, I tend to see players focus too much on double game week 19, and they sort of neglect 15 to 17. So this is just like a some of the highlights that I could think of. Like if you plan for your game week, if you plan for your bench boost by bringing in certain players for game week 19, try to plan along the way favorable fixtures as well. So like you see in game week 15, you have Southampton versus Fulham, which I think probably Southampton can again benefit from the set pieces against Fulham. Man City playing at home to Newcastle. Everton playing against Sheffield United, which pretty bad in set pieces and also conceding shots in the box. Leeds playing against Burnley, and of course Liverpool against West Brom at home. So this is also why one of the reasons why those who are still having their first wild card, they choose to wild card on game week 15 instead of 16. So, and then you can see in game week 16, you have again Leeds playing against West Brom, Spurs at home to Fulham, Leicester against Palace away. Like what Mariner has mentioned just now, Palace, in terms of defense, they drop off a lot past 3 games. So is this another haul for Leicester or for Vardy? Who knows? And also Liverpool against Newcastle away. So 16, 17 maybe you have a few not so obvious fixtures. Probably some of them that I can mention is Leicester against Newcastle.
Spurs Leeds. That's a captaincy if ever I saw one.
Oh yeah, how can I miss that?
You nearly predict what Hendrick's going to do now.
Yeah, how did I miss that? Yeah, Spurs versus Leeds at home for sure. That's a goal fest right there.
The metrics fire.
Exactly.
That's a goal fest right there. So yeah, let me just add this in. Spurs versus Leeds at home. So yeah. So there you go. So as you plan your way to game week 19, try to consider the journey there as well, and not just 19. It might define your season, or I don't know whether it defines your season as well or not. Who knows? Maybe you have many 0-0 scores on game week 19, but do consider some single game weeks can do better than double game weeks. Like the one we just had. I see quite a number of 100 over scores. So yeah, do consider all this as well. And something I would like to add is at the time of this recording, we also had game week 26, double game week 26 and blank game week 29 as announced by Ben. So is this, I can see some people say, bench boost, people who want to play bench boost are going to have a tough time now, in the mud. Or does it confirm your chip strategy or does it mess things around? So this is purely my personal take on this. For me, I think it solidifies my strategy for bench boost 19 because 18 and 19 are so close to each other.
Yes,
So the upside is big. Firstly, if you can field a full team in game week 18, you're probably better off than a lot of other players out there. And also at the same time, you can play bench boost on 19 side by side. So this looks like a good upside for me. Whereas 26 to 29, if you hold your free transfer on 26, you still have 4 free transfers to blank game week 29. So maybe you can use that to field 10 players even, because for me, I'm most probably going to do my triple captain chip on 26 instead. So City might have a double game week then. So who knows? Maybe Aguero. I don't know. Hopefully, will he be back?
When was Mane's triple captain last year? It wasn't 25 or 26, was it?
Yeah, pretty much that's
yeah. I mean, like
triple captained him for 3 points.
Yeah, I mean, you have Mane last season, you have Sane the season before that, and then you have Kane.
That is Duffy too. That is Duffy. A lot of people pick up the Duffy.
About a triple captainship, I think it's crap. I think this is scrap it anyway. I think it's the worst chip of the lot. I do like free, it's great, and I think bench boost is great, but I think triple captain's rubbish. But anyway, there you go. I think because there's just so much luck involved in captaincy, as we all know. But no, I mean, I think Joe, I think we're at 40 minutes, so I'd like to try and get some questions, and I think you can always go back to your slides as we answer the questions as we go on.
Yep.
I'm just going to very quickly just run through. So we've got Rajon, Dean M as well. Dean has mentioned, he says he's heard a lot of YouTubers say they're going to free hit in 18 brackets. As I see in their teams, they don't have any Tottenham or City. So, but do have Salah and Bruno. And I was thinking someone with Son, Kane, and Salah, as many game week 18 players. Should I keep bringing in decent game week 18 players and free hit in 19? I think the answer to that, I think we've already pretty much said, they may be in a decent position.
Yeah, Mariner, I think you can put the comment in the video as well, right?
Yeah. But the thing is, there's 3 different questions, so I can't put them all up at once. but yeah, so your views. Game week 8, could he actually get away with building a team for 18 and then free hitting? I mean, what's the fixtures 18 and 20? Because obviously, if you're free hitting in, if you're going to 18, you're building to 18. What I would suggest he's got to do is got to look at game week 20. Is he happy with that team then? So if you're building, you've got Man City, got Brighton, and then they've got West Brom. So that's fine, isn't it?
Yep.
Tottenham, Aston Villa, but then Liverpool. So that's not quite so good. Everton. So I'm trying to read that. Aston Villa, and then Wolves, and then Wolves and Leicester. Arsenal, Crystal Palace, Southampton. I mean, for me, my perspective, and I don't know whether this is just me, but maybe it's my team structure, but I'm just not particularly enamored with game week 18. I think it's a case of loading up on 3 or 4 teams and then getting the hell out of there. That's my perspective. I don't know what you reckon, guys. Joe?
I mean, if you look at game week, if you focus on the players in game week 18, not many favorable fixtures after 19. I would probably only see Man City is the standout. Even on 20, 21, and 22, they are having awesome fixtures. But others, just a little bit here and there for me. So, which is why I prefer to focus on players in game week 19. So, yeah.
No, in fact, Spurs play Liverpool and Chelsea in 2 of the 3 games after double game week. So that's something. If you free it in 18, if you free it in 19, that's something you have to keep in consideration.
I mean, if you look at Leicester, they are playing Everton away on 20, and then they are having 21. They're playing Leeds, and then they're playing Fulham. So, Leicester is actually pretty good fixtures post game week 19. Even before game week 18, they are playing against Crystal Palace and Newcastle away. So, personally, I'm quite leaning on Leicester.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I think, my view is, if your team's clearly, you've got to think about your own team, and if it looks like more of an opportunity to get a 10, because of course the upside of free hitting in 19 and really build it, obviously you can't play your bench with it, but you could put a very, very nice team together as well that way. Okay, we've got a question here, which is, I could nearly ask you this, Joe. Any plans to sell Chilwell? Because I think the reason this one is because clearly this is the spanner in everybody's works about possibly bench boosting in 19. It's certainly a spanner in my works, especially with James being injured as well, because that would have been the obvious move to free up a bit of cash.
I've heard people who watched the match say that Emerson did well deputizing for Chilwell. So maybe in for Frank Lampard, it probably don't want to rush Chilwell back so soon. I think
even Lampard has confirmed now that they both are doubtful for both the games. So that's what Lampard has just said in the press conference now. So looks like we won't be having both of them for the next 2 games at least. So Spanner really works, definitely.
Starting to get to sell for me then, I think. If nothing else, just because I'm not so... if nothing else, you've got to play what's in front of you, haven't you? You've just got to play what's in front of you sometimes, and maybe...
Yeah.
I don't know. The games are quick. We've still got a little bit of time, and I did take a price drop actually last night. I didn't move early because I wanted to wait for the press conference. But I think that's one of those ones. And there are some of them. There's obviously Zuma's available as an option, and we know that what he can do. If you've got the money, TAA or Robertson, again. And if you're going down, you can always even crash down to a 4.5, and I don't know.
But just for a throwback, when Chilwell was injured for the first 3 weeks, and he came on game week 4, his debut for Chelsea, he scored 18 points.
Against Palace.
That's the thing, isn't it? But I bought him fairly early, so I'm going to take a hit on his value. But value is only value when you actually spend it anyway. So
yeah, I think I'll agree with Mariner because I bought him right in the beginning too, so I have a bit of value tied with him. But the games come thick and through. You'll have to look for points and not team value. And Mariner has a lot of value. I know he has 105, if I'm not wrong. So I think he can afford to drop a few over there, if I'm not wrong.
My view is I'm tempted to actually gamble on TAA and Robbo double. That's actually what I'm thinking of doing, because I've got the money to be able to do it. And of course, it's a bit of a gamble, but I can't say Trent Alexander-Arnold doesn't become a bad player overnight, does he? That's my perspective anyway. It's due to go crazy at some stage. I just hope I might jump on him at the right time. But no, it's a tough one because, and again, you've got to think if you're taking Chilwell out, the last thing you want to do probably is bring in a single game weaker. If you're bench boosted, so you are looking for a double game weaker. So you're looking for a West Ham, you're looking for another Chelsea, you're looking for a Liverpool asset, someone like that. I would suggest from my side anyway. I don't know if you've got any other views on that.
Yeah.
So, okay. Right. Moving on. Just try and rattle through these questions. So we've got Dean in. We've already answered Dean's question. Aditya's in as well. Ben Chilwell out for Stones, Reguilon, Diaz. So Reguilon, interesting option, but of course only a single game weaker. But Reguilon, for me, I think I quite like the look of Spurs' next couple of fixtures.
He did got. Was he benched previously for Davies, or was it injured? I think he's injured.
He might be benched, but look,
he was benched. He was benched.
Yeah.
In my knowledge, he was benched.
I think there's ability of rotation. You never can quite tell, can you?
So I think the only one who's very stable from Spurs defense is Dyer. I think Zoo mentioned it in this as well. So if it's better because Reguilon is costlier than Dyer as well. So I don't think it's really worth the gamble of bringing in a player and then him missing out at the end of the day. I don't see Mourinho replacing Dyer at all from the starting 11. If he's fit, he's playing. So that's pretty straightforward over there.
Yeah, no, I agree. So, and Aditya is also saying, would you sell the likes of KDB, Grealish, or even DCL to get double game week players and using free hit in 18? So, I'm going to start with this one. KDB, yes, I would sell. That's my perspective. Grealish, sure, because I think we might have a situation whereby when Barkley comes back and Grealish is the talisman, and I've got tons of value built up in it as well. That's another reason why I might not sell him. DCL, I've got massive. I mean, I had DCL from game week 1. To sell DCL for me would be, I just think he's a hold. He's going to continue doing what he's doing. I don't think he's going to tear. He might get the odd haul, but I don't think he's going to tear trees up. I do think he's going to keep returning. So for me, DCL's going nowhere. What do you think, guys?
Actually, if for me, you know, if I go through with whatever I plan, I'm gonna sell all 3. So I mean it could work. It could backfire really badly. So you know, why not? So I don't know. I mean, I probably want to be different from Marina's team as well in the process.
Yeah, come on, it's boring. Boring. So we need some difference of that.
Sorry, KDB to Son, game week 16 to 20. What do you think? Surya, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that's a good transfer because Spurs got the fixtures, so definitely in for me as well.
Here's a good question from James. Actually, I'll let you guys answer this one. I'm just going to sit and listen. I'm interested. If free hit is such a valuable chip, why waste it on game week 18? Would you ride it out without a free hit if you can field 5 to 6 players and hope there are not too many big scores? Now, do you know what? Yeah. My first impression was to do exactly that. That was my first. When I first looked at it, I thought I'm going to try and write this out because I said to you, I don't particularly find the picture particularly enamoring. However, when you start looking at the matchups, then you start seeing some value, and I think it might be, personally, in my view, you might be sat behind a sofa a lot that week if you were doing that. But Joe, what's your view?
I mean, I think I mentioned it just now because the fact that game week 18 is so close, right next to game week 19, I mean, if I think I've had a conversation with I'm not sure, I forgot who. You know, why do you want to play your chips now rather than later on the season? For me, it doesn't matter whether you play it now or you play it at the end of the season, as long as you get those points. So I can see you know, as long as you get more points than other players. So I don't see it as a waste in game week 18 where people are trying to struggle to fill in a full team. Because basically, you know, with free hit, you almost, okay, I probably wouldn't say almost, you can close 50% or more, maybe 60 to 70% sure that you can get more points than the average. So as long as you can get more points with your chips, I don't see it as a waste.
No, I mean, at the end of the day, when you use it, when you don't, eventually it'll balance out, provided you use all these chips. It's about whether you'll
exactly.
Use them at the right
time. I mean, if
a triple captain last year, for example.
Yeah, because like I've seen players who for example, if you triple captain Bruno on last game week, you will probably do so much better than those in the game double game week. Who knows?
So, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I think the fix.
So it's not a waste if you can get more points than anybody else. I mean, that's my take on it. You know, like triple captain, do you want to leave it at the end or playing it now even? You know, as long as your chip brings you the points, you can play anywhere in the season. Like even in Game Week 1, if you put the triple captain chip on Salah, you really got a hat trick, 60 points right there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
there's no. I think the important thing to say here to the listeners and to the viewers is that there is no right or wrong answer here. It is very much down to your gut feel. I think if you set yourself up nicely for blank game week 18 and it goes wrong, or you set yourself nicely up for double game week in 19 and it all goes wrong, then you just put it down to the FPL gods, swear a bit, laugh at yourself, and move on. That's what I do. I laugh at myself all the time when it goes wrong. There's no point getting yourself into a state, But I mean, at the end of the day, I just think you have to have some thought process behind what you do. And if you look back on it afterwards and you go, do you know what, my thought process was right. Triple captain in Mane last year was the right call. It was the right call. The fact is, and I was pissed off for about 4 weeks. But
you have to remember there's still an element of luck.
A lot of it. A heck of a lot of it. Yeah. Okay, so here's another one. So, Hadi, I plan to field 5 to 6 players in the blank game week and have at least 7 to 8 double game weekers with the remaining players with single game week. When most managers have already used their chips, I'm going to take advantage during the later game weeks. Well, look, mate, I hope it works for you. If that's your plan, I say I don't think any of us are doing it that way, but I'm not saying it's wrong. I just think I'd need a particularly large sofa if I didn't go in with 2 or 3 Manchester City players against Brighton that week. That's my feeling. I've just got that funny feeling that there'll be a big haul coming at some stage. Okay, just quickly running through this question, a bit mindful of time. I don't want to go on too long tonight. Still got Christmas presents to wrap, for goodness sake. Selling KDB, Grealish, and DCL, Joe. Who would you bring in? Upside chaser.
Double Mane Salah.
I told you were going to get abused tonight, so come on.
Yeah, I mean, in my head currently, Rafinha for Grealish, KDB, Son for KDB, and then I will probably bring in Vardy for DCL.
Vardy. Because Vardy's got a knock again, hasn't he? But these matches are coming thick and fast for Vardy at the moment, and I think there's a matter of time. I think before Vardy's benched, I think there is a chance. The thing is, this double game week's are way away. It's actually the end of nearly the end of January, isn't it? We think we're talking about it now. It's next year. There's all sorts going to happen between now and then.
Yeah, we've still got some solid time left.
I do like your Rafinha call. I really like that. I mean, my players who I might be looking for, I might go back to Kane, actually. I'm tempted to go back to Kane rather than Son. But that would mean Rafinha coming into my team probably as well. I just wish Antonio wasn't injured.
Oh, yeah.
If Antonio wasn't injured, I don't think I'd be having a discussion about this because it would be, or the move would already probably sit there.
He is the last piece to the puzzle.
Yeah, he is.
Yes.
Yeah. Here we go. So the right answer is to bring back all out attack. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look, personally, I don't think I was playing the game when all out attack was there. You'd think I probably was. I don't think I was. So, and here's just the last question. One is just a general question. 1 week punt on a replacement for Lamptey and James with 2 free transfers before a game week 16 wildcat. Surya, what do you reckon?
Lamptey and James. I have to 1 week punt. It's pretty blank. I think we'll have to look at the fixtures.
Well, let's have a look.
Let me just share it real quick.
We've got Man City against Newcastle. Leeds against...
Marina, I've shared that.
Have you? Okay. Oops, hang on. Let me go back to that screen.
I think even Lamptey's been confirmed to be out for a couple of weeks. So yeah.
If you ask me, I would probably go for Stones and Vestergaard.
Stones and Vestergaard.
Yeah, Stones has been rested, and Vestergaard, of course, Fulham aren't good enough to in defending set pieces. So very good options there. I would prefer.
I didn't say, was Stones rested this weekend with this week? Because they've had a Cali.
Yeah, he's rested.
Carabao Cup, showing my age.
Diaz played the full game.
So yeah, and Diaz has been not. He has played 90 for the last 11 matches continuously. So we might have a benching there probably, but you never know, Pep.
Yeah, I think Diaz played with Laporte.
Matip. What about Matip?
Yeah, I was just going to say Matip. I mean, if you can afford, maybe Matip instead of...
But another thing with Matip is that I don't see him having that fitness to play continuously. I think Klopp might rotate him there as well. He's also a bit of an injury-prone player. Then and there, the games come thick and through. So yeah, that's some doubts with Matip as well, at least for me.
Yeah. And we've just got one more question on game week 18. So, Dean, do you think just going into game week 18 with 2 City and 3 Tottenham and 2 others is good enough? Then 3 hitting 19. I honestly don't think 18 is that good. Apart from those 2 and maybe bringing in Wilson. Sorry, yeah?
Yeah. So the thing is, I have seen this a lot of times. People have doubled up on Son and Kane still. So those are the guys who still have this dilemma of why do we have to free it already? Because guys like us who don't have Son and Kane, we want them at least for the free hit squad in 18. But if people do have them, I think it's not pretty bad if you can get 2 City and 3 Tottenham assets and then use free hit. I think it's not a bad strategy. And as we said, there is no one right or wrong thing to play this game. So just go with the flow. But if you can field 5 or 6 premium players from City and Spurs, I think it's fair enough, good to go in my option. Yeah.
So I can't get you to put your house on Willian then or anything like that.
Willian.
No. Look at his Christmas. I'm trying to tell jokes. I'm trying to cheer myself up because I'm not in the UK. I need to make myself laugh a bit. Oh dear me. So I mean, I've actually just got a couple of questions which I wrote down earlier on, and I'd love your views on this. I've had some Twitter exchanges with 1 or 2 people in the last day or 2 about the second goalkeeper. Now, what's your view if perhaps you own Martinez, like me, and I have the money perhaps to bring somebody like Mendy or Fabianski? I'm very interested to know your perspective because I've already answered this to one of the guys at Twitter. And I'm very interested to hear what you say.
I think Fabianski is a better option to me because they have 2 clean sheet keeping fixtures. Definitely, West Ham United do have two proper clean sheet games right in there. So I think Fabianski is the right answer, and McCarthy comes close behind as well. So McCarthy and Fabianski are the ones I'm looking at as well. Marner, yeah.
Yeah, and Joe, from the perspective of spending all that money on a second goalkeeper.
I mean, you're gonna have a nightmare because, firstly, if you use a free hit to bring them, use a free transfer to bring a second keeper in, especially for the likes of Fabianski or Mendy, which is 5.1 and 5.2.
Yes.
You have lots of money stuck there. That's for one. Another one, you have a benching nightmare. I really hate benching nightmares in goalkeepers. I prefer to just stick to one and just go even the whole 38 game weeks with one goalkeeper. because really it's a pain in the ass trying to, because goalkeepers are quite. I would say goalkeepers are even more unpredictable than all the other positions in FPL. They might come up with a moment of wonder and save a penalty, and if it's on your bench, you're screwed. So I would prefer to just stick to one.
Yeah, I mean, my perspective. I mean, look, I don't mind telling people who I'm looking at. I'm looking at Johnston from West Brom. If nothing else, he might save a penalty or get some save points.
Yeah, save points always there. Save points always there.
He is 4.5. So if I do have to leave him there festering for a little while afterwards, that's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
So I do think, I mean, Fabianski, if you've got pots of cash, I do agree with Surrey. I think it's a really good. It'd be a really interesting double up, especially if you've got Koufal or somebody like that in your team. It could be a nice differential for that double game week. But as we've said already,
especially with Antonio also not there, it makes perfect sense to double up on West Ham defense rather than go and gamble on one of their attackers when the fixture is calling you. So Fabianski looks a fair decent option, but I do agree with Zoo as well. The benching nightmare is going to be a huge problem too.
Yeah. Of course, the thing is with Fabianski is West Ham do play Burnley, and we all know who's going to start scoring goals now, don't we, Joe?
Oh, sorry.
I got this one.
We all know who's going to start scoring goals for Burnley now, don't we, Joe? And
man, tell me about it. When people on Twitter suddenly rates Wood in terms of his what you call that XG. I was like,
big chance.
I'm 10 weeks late.
10 weeks late. Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, I've seen a post saying he's one of the highest XG in past 3 weeks.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, and he has missed the most big chances, if I'm not wrong. The second most big chances missed. So he's up there with Bamford as well. So
Bamford's missed something like that. Bamford's missed a ridiculous amount of big chances.
10 gone.
Bamford's just getting those. He's getting into those places, and he's shown that he can be Lionel Messi on his day. Of course, he's not.
But the days aren't coming sooner enough, so it comes just once in a while. But the fact is that Leeds do create a lot and Burnley do create less, so that's the difference between Bamford and Wood. Yeah.
I think I saw a Leeds question actually mentioned earlier on. Just scrolling back up, I think I must have missed it. I think they were mentioning about Leeds defence. Would you have Leeds a Leeds defender in the double game week?
Yeah, I think I have Dallas and I'll have him definitely, but it's only for the attacking perspective of his, not the defensive capabilities of them. So because they're pretty much done over there, but I do have a feeling that Dallas can score one or two, at least one of the double game week. So I think their defensive numbers is also showing that they're not really good, but of course a goal or an assist somewhere will always be beneficial. Yes, and since I have him, so I'll hold. Not a big gesture with that.
I could have sold him about 7 times. I could have sold him about 7 times, and I keep holding him. And just one last question on Leeds, because again, I'm intrigued by this team. What about the double up between Bamford and Rodrigo? What do you reckon? 5.7 million, Rodrigo.
Actually, is quite enticing, to be honest. Especially if you don't have, like other players, or especially if you're on, let's say Wilson, you want to go on a double game week player. Rodrigo has been posting pretty good stats ever since he came on, ever since he nailed that starting spot in terms of shots on target, in terms of XG as well. So doubling up on Leeds attackers is actually not a bad idea because they are so high in the XG, and they are actually doing pretty well in terms of attacking. So I mean, if you can go for it, because as I mentioned, Leeds are having great fixtures starting from game week 15 right up to the double game week. You might reap the benefits.
Yeah. It's an interest because there's another move. It's another move that I could make, and of course I'm not going to bring Shea Adams in. No way.
Okay. Me and Zoo have him. So me and myself and Zoo have him. So we're stuck with Adams. So we're lucky there.
No, hell would have to freeze over first before I brought Shea Adams. Okay, so I think that's the questions done for now, unless we get any more. I just want to very, very quickly. I'll wrap up in 5 minutes. We've already been going an hour and 10. It's incredible how fast time flies when you're having fun. I just want to know very quickly your captain choices for game week 15. We're at, aren't we? So who are you looking at this week?
15. It has to be Salah. So KDB comes third behind maybe 10-15%, but West Bromwich Albion, it's pretty no biggie, big of a decision to go for. So I think it's Salah. I think your metric stays the same as well.
It does. In fact, it's actually on Liverpool 1, 2, 3. It clearly detests West Brom.
Firmino is
interesting enough. It's Calvert-Lewin look.
Yeah. Because I do fancy Calvert-Lewin against Sheffield United.
Yeah. So I think, I mean, one of Salah and Mane are pretty standout. Firmino would be a huge differential if he came in. Yeah. Wouldn't he? Yeah. He could be a huge differential. But I mean, again, the reason I've included him is because he fits into my list. Clearly, you're not all going to. You'll see the highlighted yellows are the ones that I own. Mm-hmm. So, so that's where I just put up for my own perspective. But yeah, you can see Salah is a standout captaincy option this week, particularly given he rested last week, and we cannot have the same conversations that we had on Boxing Day.
Yes.
It's physically, exactly. We just can't go there. Joe, are we all on Salah?
Yep, no brainer for me.
Yeah. I think he's going to be very, very highly captained. If you were to pick a differential, who would you go for?
I think KDB, because I think he's still 25% owned, and I burnt the brunt of captaining him a couple of times, but then still stick my neck out and say KDB. If you're not going Salah, yes.
KDB is actually the only player blanked for me this season.
Oh, that's out of all the players, it's KDB. Out of all the players, and it's KDB that's blanked for you. So that's surprising.
Can you believe it?
I can't. I think I was seeing an edit or somewhere saying if only Aguero was there and Sterling was finishing like he did last season, KDB could have done much better. But of course, let's hope they find the finishing boots and score what KDB creates in the coming days. Hopefully.
Yeah. I think the thing is with Salah, his expected ownership is going to be so high as well. I think if you're not on him and he hauls, then you are dead this week.
Dead, yeah, like last week for me.
So dead.
Yeah, like last week for me.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's the captaincy. Just very quickly looking at the questions, just to finish, just a few comments really. Lampard's just said Reece and Chilwell are doubtful for the next two. I think it's doubtful. I don't know whether that doesn't necessarily say out, but doubtful. I can't see them playing. The fixtures are coming too quick, thick and fast. I think I tend to agree with you guys. FPL Swang, as usual, always showing up on our streams. Nice to see you again. Will likely sell Fernandes to Salah and captain him. Well, if you haven't got any value tied up in Fernandes, and you can, I don't see why not. That would be my perspective. I mean, remember what you've always got to think: what you're selling him at, and what you're buying him back at. You can hardly ever buy them back at the same selling them. So if you are upside chasing, call it what you want, you've got to remember that you could price yourself out, and then you end up making a really early move, and then someone gets COVID, or someone gets injured, or breaks down, and I'm afraid it's just the time of year. Things are going to happen, aren't they? So, but, I think if you've got the opportunity to do that, you've got transfers there. I don't think it's a huge problem. And the last question from Aditya: will Watkins score this game week, lads? Oliver.
I think that lad has very, very good luck, awful luck. Too sad to see him struggle. Yeah.
No, I mean, look, I just think, and again, I'll just come back to what I said earlier on about Villa. Barkley can't come back soon enough. They are a different team with Barkley. I think it's going to probably benefit Watkins as well. I think he's just got so much more, really noticeable how they've gone off the boil since he's been missing. So yeah. Okay, we've been going an hour and 15 minutes. So what I'll do is I've gone blurry as well for some reason. I don't think it's unless am I blurry or is it my eyes? I mean, the fact I've drank too much wine. It's close to Christmas.
It's slightly blurry. So you don't have to worry about your eyesight. No, nothing.
Okay, now you're back.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I've got my Christmas lights, I've got my hat on, I've got my empty wine glass now, so it means I'm going to have to go and get some more. So, guys, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Do post your teams on Twitter close to the deadline. We're very interested to know how you're planning and everything's starting to shape up. I'll do the same. I'll plot the metric on there probably tomorrow because I think I'm just going to probably close Twitter down from probably lunchtime tomorrow till Boxing Day lunchtime, something like that, and have a bit of a break. And I probably, if anybody asks me any questions, I'll be too drunk to answer them anyway. So, all right, guys, all the best, and have a great Christmas. And
Merry Christmas, Zoo. Merry Christmas, man. Yeah.
See you for the next show. Thank you. Cheers. All right, everybody. Well, that's that. I hope you've enjoyed Joe's absolutely fantastic presentation on chip strategies and his flowcharts and everything. It'll all be on the stream. Obviously, I hope you've been watching it. If you've not watched it, please just pause it and take it in, because, as we said, there isn't a right answer here. It's very much going to be down on what you do, what's right for your team. So, this is Marinette signing off. Have a great Christmas. Do give us a like and a follow on YouTube. And apart from that, please just have a great Christmas. Have a rest. Enjoy the football. And take it easy. All the best. Cheers. Bye.